All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to decode what some call the trader's map, a systematic, step-by-step approach that's really designed to bring some order to the chaos of day trading.
You've been there, right? The chart is just this wild dance of green and red candles. The pressure's on, and you're always asking yourself the same thing. Do I buy? Do I sell? Or, let's be honest, am I just guessing and hoping I get lucky?
But what if? What if you could replace all that guesswork with a clear roadmap? A system that gives you a structured way to read the market, to make decisions based on actual rules, not just a gut feeling. Well, that's exactly the idea we're going to break down.
So, let's start building this roadmap. The absolute foundation of this entire system is a tool called the T-band. Just think of it as the actual map for our whole trading journey.
So what in the world is the T-band? Well, it's short for trend in the band, and honestly, its job is super simple. It has one main goal, to show you at a single glance who's in charge of the market. Is it the buyers pushing prices up, or is it the sellers pushing them down? Now, the T-band itself is made of three key parts. First, you've got the upper band. Think of that like a ceiling, where the market's getting a little overbought. Then, you've got the lower band, which is kind of like the floor, the oversold area. And right there in the middle, the most important part, the mid-band. That's the dynamic center line that's going to tell us what the current trend is.
And reading that mid-band could not be easier. If it's green, that means buyers are in control, more than 55% of them. So that signals an uptrend. If it's magenta, sellers are in the driver's seat. So here's the bottom line. Green means you're looking for buys, magenta means you're looking for sells. That's your first, most basic signal.
Okay, so we've got our map. Now we need some rules of the road, right? That's where the ABC trading rules come in. This is a super simple framework for making every single decision.
The whole process is designed to be simple and repeatable. Step A, that's the easy one. Identify the trend. What color is the mid-band? Step B is all about discipline. You only trade in the direction of that trend. And step C, that's strategy. Find the best place to get in, which usually means as close to that mid-band as possible to get the best risk to reward.
This really drills home the single most important rule of this entire system. It's a mantra. You never, ever, ever go against the trend. It's the core discipline. So if that mid-band is green, you are a buyer, full stop. If it's magenta, you are a seller. There are no what-ifs or buts.
But here's the thing. Just knowing the direction of the trend isn't always enough, is it? We also need to know how strong that trend actually is. And this is where we add our first layer of confirmation to get more confidence in what we're doing. So you've done step A. You see the mid-band is magenta, so you know the trend is down. But here's the next question every single trader asks. Is this a powerful, raging river of a downtrend? Or is it just, a weak little trickle that could reverse at any moment?
To answer that question, the system uses a confirmation tool called large triggers. These are two extra lines on your chart. And their job isn't just to show direction, it's to measure the underlying strength and the momentum behind it. And how they look, their color, and how far apart they are tells you everything you need to know. So here's how you read them. For a strong, high-confidence trade, the kind we're all looking for, you want the color of the large triggers to match the mid-band. So magenta with magenta. And you want to see those two trigger lines spreading wide apart. That shows you there's power and momentum. Now, if the colors don't match, or if the lines are all narrow and pinched together, that's a big warning sign of a weak or mismatched trend. That's your signal to be cautious or just stay away.
So we've got our map, and we've got our speedometer. Now let's talk about the system's brain. This is the part that helps us understand the overall market territory we're playing in.
And hey, I'm not just making that up. The source material for this explainer literally describes this next indicator as the brain of the software. It's the component that's supposed to give the deepest insight into who really has control of the market.
So the whole point of this brain indicator comes down to its relationship to this central zero line. I want you to think of this line as a border, like the center line in a game of tug-of-war. If the indicator is above that zero line, we are officially in buyer's territory. Even if the price takes a little dip, the buyers are still fundamentally in control. But if it's below the zero line, we're in seller's territory. The sellers are dominating, even if the price has a temporary little rally.
Okay, now it's time to put it all together. We've looked at the map, the confirmation tool, and the brain. And the highest probability trades, according to this system, only happen when all of these pieces align perfectly.
Yeah, the entire logic of this thing really just boils down to one idea: finding those moments of confluence. When the trend, the momentum, the territory, and the underlying strength are all screaming the same thing, that's the signal for a high-confidence trade.
So what does that perfect alignment actually look like? Let's use a sell trade as an example. First, alignment number 1 is the trend. The midband and those large triggers we talked about both have to be magenta. Second is momentum. Other triggers have to be flowing with that trend. Third, you confirm the territory. The brain indicator has got to be below its zero line. And finally, number 4 is strength. Another tool has to show that the sellers, the red line, are clearly dominant. When all 4 of those things line up, that's when the system signals a high-confidence trade.
And that really brings us to our final thought. This whole explainer has been about trying to turn a chaotic process into a structured one, about moving from just guessing to actually following a map. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. Could a clear, rules-based system like this, where you make decisions based on alignment and confirmation, be the real key to navigating the markets with a lot more